Howdy everyone. It's Thursday, you know what that means. Time for another episode of Stream. How's it going? Hope everyone's doing well. I don't know why there were so many of you waiting. But hello. Today we're gonna... I'm getting the new box on Saturday. So today we're gonna basically talk about what I want to do with them. Because I want a lot of Assault Centurions. Not Centurions, Terminators. I'm already making a mistake. Good job, me. Patrick Dudgeon. Thank you for becoming a member. This is also a new background because the previous one was being worked on for a lot of time. Basically, when I moved my desk, I wanted to basically remake the background to be what I currently see, and it's this. So there you go. Rip to the old background. But there's like stuff back there. Like that's actually what's on that thing. Although I realised I didn't actually finish the this bit down here. That actually should have some more stuff on the shelves down here. Maybe I'll fill it up with stuff. There's also the... I have to use my head because I have no other way of pointing. You got the Tech Marine up there. You got that really cool Centurion pull thing. You've got Audi in the background. Your chat is now on the TV behind me. That is where my actual TV is. There's a Centurion over there. Rock Mug over there. And we can add some cool stuff to this as we go on. Playing Minecraft, nice. Anyways, we'll get to Crux Terminatus, but I'm going to get on Saturday. But what's Centurion on the table? I imagine I'll add more eventually. I will put something else on the table. Like, I feel like I can add more and more stuff to this, which is... Waiting pizza to arrive? Hell yeah. And then get some Marines painted, then more Bullgrin. Nice. Bullgrin are kind of cool. Have you drawn our face of the ITT yet? No, I need you to tell me what I need to do. Dear. Work on SD Gundam? Hell yeah. And my first ever tournament, which was the Throne of Skulls tournament in Warhammer, went 2-3. Hell yeah. Awesome. I hope to share my pile of shame. Hell yeah. $2,500. Jeez, that's a lot. The Mad Case is great for easy segues to response time. Speaking of Mad Case 2.0 from madcase2.0.com/segue. 5 circles with eyes and probably smiley faces. Thank you. Thank you, Reese. I'm sure I'll get on that. Did not expect him to be. So many people did not expect me to be a VTuber. It's very funny. But you know what's gonna shock and appall you is I have a body pillow as well. Which if you go to paulisbadatuff.shop, you can find that as well as some awesome stuff there. You got the Crux Terminatus today. Ooh. Don't tell me what store you got it from. That was the wrong thing for them to do. Anyone on Tall Sniper Boy? He's still there. The problem is with this angle, it would be good to... I should probably have him somewhere on this, shouldn't I? In the corner, because he's actually behind the desk right now. He's still there. I thought it was a video. I came to say, put them in your butt. You expected to say that to just the comments where I still read it. There is a video tomorrow. It'll be a video I think people will want to see. I can think of about 36 reasons you'd want to watch tomorrow's video. There is a Mad Case down here as well, yeah. At least my best interpretation of one. 7 more hours of work, unfortunate. Do a video reviewing all of your armies. I could do that at some point. Like that'd basically be my pile of shame. No, I guess I got the box, so that's fair. DOA and attention date sheets, in my opinion. I disagree. Which is, and to be fair, even if they are dead on arrival, I'm still going to use them because I think they're cool as hell. That's what I did with Centurions, and it's working well for me so far. Yeah, it's very much I lost my train of thought. Why did I lose my train of thought? Yeah, I think they have play. I think you can work out. I think you can work out ways to do with it, which is what I'm going to talk about today. I'll talk about the kind of stuff I want to do in terms of the game, in terms of painting them, and what I'm going to do, because I'm going to pick them up and I'm basically going to make them all assault terminators. I'm assuming the box comes with 10 of each hammers and lightning claws, because what I might do is get the 5 terminators I got from Leviathan, cut the arms off, and have 2 lots of 10, which could work. The Arc Hell yes, I will use them because they're cool, but normal terminators for 170 is just better than assaults right now. Here's the thing. Here's the thing, which I say a lot. I reckon the assaults have play in Shadowmark Talon, but that's because everything else play in Shadowmark Talon. But like, my thought process is you could have a list with 10 assault terminators with the hammers. Give them a character that either has rapid ingress turn 1 or infiltrate. Infiltrating essentially 42 plus 4++ wounds. Which can do a decent amount. The thing is, they're not going to really hurt anything. But they are going to withstand a lot of pain compared to the Blade Guard, right? But the thing you're missing is the fights first, which is what makes them good. Your other option, which I kind of want to explore, is you go 10 with lightning claws with the... Yeah, it's Peachy. Thank you for spamming with Prime. 10 with lightning claws, where you run them with a librarian for sustained hits. That would also be kind of cool. Warhammer review confirmed the new Assault Terminator kit fits well with minimal fussing to Leviathan Terminators. Hell yeah. So I can't remember how the... I'm pretty sure the arms just... Because they're push fit, right? The ones in Leviathan. So that would be quite easy to take off. So I didn't glue them. So I feel like having 20 assaults would be really cool. They become a tar pit straight away if they're infiltrated. That's the thing, right? That's what I'm thinking. That's kind of what I wanted to do with the Blade Guard, but they just don't have the staying power. Because they're 3 wounds each, you know, it's only 3 up, 4 up. But 2 up, 4 up, meaning you have to at least put AP 2 in there. Not too bad. 10 with Lightning Claws in Liger, 60 attacks at S7 AP damage 1, +1 to wound, and Twin Links for sustain from Librarian. That is... Yeah, I can see that play as well. Rain! Gifting 10 of your finest homegrown memberships to Paulus Bannister. Thank you very much. Look at all these people. I see some names in there. That, you know, Cassie Dragon, that's a mod. You should have been giving me your money, because that's how being a mod works. You give me money when you volunteer for me. That's just the rules. I'm sorry. Yeah, Luis is in there as well. How's it going? I'm sorry, I'm bored. That sounds like a skillish. No, it's fine. It is fine. Dear. Just had 6 Wolfguard Takeover's arrive and 6 Thunderbolts. Hell yeah. Would you want to picture the SD Gundam? Yeah, sure. If you put it in, if it's complete, you can put it in the completed tab on Discord. Or if it's work in progress, put it in the work in progress. You just got your Crux box yesterday. A load of people gave you a 5 once. That's fair. That is all you need to do to pay for my to sate my hunger. The other thing you do to sate my hunger is like the stream, because for some reason there's 200 of you. But thank you for joining. Yeah. Yeah. I do like the look of the Assault Terminators. The Assault Terminators, they just really... I even... obviously, I definitely want Lightning Claw ones, because I love Lightning Claws, but the Hammer guys look really well. Normally, I wasn't a big fan of Thunder Hammers because of just where they hold it. I'd rather they hold it further up the hilt. But where they are is actually pretty cool. Have you got a new background, or am I going insane? Both things can be true. I do have a new background, but you could also just be going insane. That is true. Zinch, funny number, also Zangos are so cute. Thank you, Ace of Dragons. You heretic. You've been branded as such. Thank you for the 9 months of membership. Why no Leggy Boy in the background? Because he's technically not... This kind of represents what's actually behind me.
Also, Zangas are so cute.
To try and blur the line between reality and VTuber mode. But I could put him in there, because he's currently behind my desk rather than in front. Keep getting gifted. Yeah, I keep getting a gifted mention Liam Dempsey as well. I don't know. I'm wondering if someone is doing it like specifically to target me or if it's just luck. But yeah, I think I've had like a year's membership to Liam Dempsey without having to pay for it. How many points is 36 Centurions and 30 Assault Terminators? Ooh, for Assault. The 36 Centurions. Don't ask why. I've been researching this for a reason. Is 1,890 points. 30 Assault Terminators, what's that? They're like 360 each? Maybe? That's another 1080. So it just fits without characters. Love the streaming server. Thank you very much. Liam Dempsey, he's the person we raid basically every Thursday. He's a fellow YouTuber. He does a lot of game streams and just chatting streams. Very, very cool hangout. We'll go there probably after the stream if he's streaming. What are we actually doing? It's a yapping stream. It's not going to be a super long yapping stream, to be fair. Dev Unit 236. Thank you for becoming a member. Yeah, I want to just talk about the Terminators because they're cool. I don't want to stick around too long because I have the video for tomorrow. I need to do a lot more work on, hopefully to get it released in time. Again, it should be a good one for people because people have been asking about it a lot. So I am happy to fulfill the requirement. The 3K tournament. Yeah, the Grommet mug is looking a little bit flat, but he is there. Is it a battle report or Gunpla? Neither. Although Gunpla, I think, is going to be next week. Fritters, 12 months. Let's go. We get the long song. Seems like on tonight is not up north the evening with it. No Liam tonight, okay.
Happy birthday to my membership, I guess. Let's go. Sneaky termies do sneaky things.
Hell yeah. Thank you, Fritters. That's why everyone's here, because Liam isn't. Yeah. Just five more Terminator bodies to quick stuff 10 with claws, 10 with hammers. Well, that's what I'm saying. I've got the 5 from Leviathan. I can just take the arms off and put the 10 claws on there. That's probably what I'll do. Like, that'll probably be the best thing to do. The other thing I need to work out, though, is how I'm going to paint them. That's the other thing I need to think about. I was thinking if there was a 5 squad, because you get 10 assaults and 5 regulars, but obviously you can just attach your arms to the regulars. And I've got the 5 from the other thing, so there'll be 2 squads of 10, right? So there's options, right? I think hammers and shields are definitely a good place to put stuff, although I'm kind of doing the sword and shield with the blade guard. I did those as kind of various things from Legend of Zelda. This is going to be a vibing stream. I need to continue working on the video. So there's a lot of stuff I need to do. So video about many Centurions. I love the doubles format, actually. What would a 1K Centurions list? 1K Centurions list is basically what I did for when I played against Christian von Keimer, right? That's basically what I'd do. Maybe you'd put 1 big block of 6. 5 squad of Terminator sounds like a Star Fox game. That is true. 5s are easier. 10s are more difficult. I haven't really had to do another 10. I'm gonna just make it the second monitor. Yeah, this is prime second monitor content where you play your favorite game or whilst you are doing some Warhammer or hobby stuff yourself. I've got some Tyranid Termagants. What color should I paint some when I get to them? What color do you want to, I guess? Like, what do you have an idea for a theme? Second or third monitor? I think third. If you have a fourth monitor, that like I'm not fourth monitor content, right? I'm not that low down. Got to pay half still. It was the first time pre-interest ordering. Oh right, yeah, you did the the pre-order. It took the problem was I did kind of want the box, but I forgot about the pre-order because I was away that weekend. I was actually away for my birthday, so I was having fun doing something else. Then I remembered and everywhere had sold out. It was only I think Brett was basically just like, oh, like there's one shop nearby that has a couple left that you can just like, if anyone wants one. So I was like, yes, I'll sign up to that. So I need to go physically get it, which I've not had to do before. It'll be a bit of a pain. I have to actually leave the house. I hate leaving the house. Leaving the house is awful. Terrible. Or avoiding making a quarterly presentation work. You got it. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you either do what you want to do or procrastinate. Terminator's Pokemon themed? Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, Pokemon themed even without the scratch stuff, that could actually work. Your Terminators, give them to me. Hey, Evans. Get your own Terminators, probably. I'm sure you probably did. Yeah, I imagine there's a goal out there because the only other Big 10 squad I've done is the Jetpack Vanguard vets. Jesus, Rain. $50 super chat. Thank you so much. I should have something like I should have like the well, I probably shouldn't have the stream like start flashing lights like it's Raven here because we'll probably use people with epilepsy. I won't do that. You still get the dance. Making us order, bro.
Save yourself, don't leave the house, have a courier deliver.
Thank you very, very much for the $50. Thank you. I've forgotten about getting Crux Terminatus box for a minute and ordered 30 Assault Marines, a Greater Demon, 7 characters. Had a clean backlog until now. Well, looks like you're going to be busy. If you don't use Centurion devs with twin las cannons, what weapon do you like? I would probably go grav cannons over heavy bolters, maybe. But if you're not using the las cannons, I think it's just not as good. Las cannons are just too versatile. I don't really get grav cannons because I guess most armies have vehicles, but anti-vehicle 2+ doesn't feel useful when they aren't dev wound and it's still only -1 AP. Didn't bother with the box. I do want Assault Terminators, but they aren't wolfy enough. I think I'll wait. The arms become readily available. Yeah, it makes sense, yeah. Makes a lot more sense. If you want them to be a bit wolfier, all Terminate list, no Deep Strike. Eternal March. I was looking at like making a heavy Terminator list. I definitely think 20 is a fun amount. But this also kind of comes up in the video I'm doing for tomorrow in terms of like at what point does it like tip over to being basically there's a point at where adding the same unit over and over again goes from being usable and something you can work around to not good, and when the point it turns into not good, the only other option for you to do is max it. I also have my Saturnine, because the other thing I did, speaking of Saturnine, I did build my Saturnine Praetor character. I didn't put the big shoulders on, because I think it looks better without the big shoulders, and I gave it both melee weapons. It's about the same height as a normal Terminator captain, and it's on the right base. So, there you go. So I will probably use that as my Terminator captain model. Just because he looks badass as fuck. Heresy to the shoulders of peak. I thought that too, but the more I look at it without the shoulders, they look pretty cool. What do you want from a preview show? Oh yeah, the preview show as well. That's tomorrow, isn't it? Well, it's like midnight. I'm not going to be up for it. I don't really know what I want. Obviously, a Centurion might be hilarious. Here's my Saturnine Praetor as a Logan Grimnar proxy. I guess you have to put it on a bigger base. Because Logan Grimnar's got a big base, right? Praetor's only 50 mil. Okay, I bought more Sangard this week. Oh, no. 24 Sangard. How do you... Why do you have 24? Can you... Isn't the max 18, right? You can only have 3 or 6. I guess if you want to not bother magnetizing it, right? That makes sense. Stay up for it, watch the stream. Nah, I'm an old man. I need to go to bed. If you can use a Praetor as a Termite captain. Yeah, he's the same size as base and he's just about as tall. Also, the banners keeps having that spare, yeah. Yeah, I guess if you want the options rather than magnetizing. I am lazy. I usually can't be asked to magnetize stuff. Oh, excuse me, I need to drink. If we were to invent a new type of Centurion, what would it be named, do, and look like? I had this conversation with Scary actually asked me this question. So if you want to go watch the Scary interview, or I guess it wasn't an interview, it was more of a podcast. It wasn't even a podcast, it was just chatting with Scary. He actually, I kind of missed it when we were chatting, but on the watch back, he came up with a great name for them. Hammerfall, Centurion Hammerfall Squad, where they drop down, kill something in melee, and then just stand there. Very funny. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Assault Terminators. I definitely think the Assaults are more my style, and they fit with the Screaming Ravens. I feel like Screaming Ravens have a lot of Centurions, right? But not Centurions. Keep calling them Centurions because I'm so Centurion brained. Terminators. I am looking forward to trying them out. The only thing, yeah, like if you can get fights first some other way, it'll be good. But yeah, no fights first and infiltrate, they just become a tar pit, which might work. I guess you could infiltrate them in a big line, just block things while you move the Centurions up. I'm getting them mixed up both ways now. Very smart. Centurion character, I definitely need to. I'm still working on that. I did a bit more work on the my Screaming Raven supplement. Just a little bit, kind of sort out some character stuff. It's getting there, slowly but surely. I kind of need. The problem is I just don't have time. Like making the videos takes up all of my spare time. So any like side projects I need to kind of do when I have an easier video on the table, but that generally hasn't happened. How do you plan to get all Terminators in combat since it may be hard to deep strike so many bodies? Infiltrate some of them. And then... Because infiltrate with Blade Driven Deep would be a good way of doing it. Maybe you don't even need to get into combat, just there as just a big threat. Then I guess there's other attachments I could use, but... Allmark Diva from Overwatch. Yes, it is the Diva from Overwatch version. Insurance the Space Marine's wearing a second layer of armor. Exactly. I mean, makes sense, right? Like, if you've got armor, and you're like, ooh, I'm getting shot. Just a second layer of armor, you know. They do look like they do wear a lot of t-shirts. I mean, as a prime target for rapid ingress. Exactly. There's also the turn 1 rapid ingress enhancement, which would be amazing on them. Trying to work out how else you could use them, right? Because the other problem is they are a lot of points. Like for me to fit 10 Assault Centurion, Assault Terminators in there, I'd have to take out, well, I'd be replacing the Blade Guard and the Judicia, but I need a character plus as well. So we're looking at 400 points, which is a lot. And you can put the Ancient in there as well. Term is with Ancient to make the mostly team is they just take whatever objective you stick on. That was my other thought, yeah. Put the Ancient in there, and then just the Ancient with Blade Driven Deep. They just park on a objective, and it's just theirs for the whole game, and I can just focus it elsewhere. And put the Storm Shields on there, because then they're 4 wounds each. It's just too expensive while there's too much stuff in the game that kills them too easy. That's the thing. I think if it was... Because the things that kill Terminators are basically the same things that kill Blade Guard, but Blade Guard are easier to kill, which is why I kind of want to swap it. Was a newbie to Warhammer, is the secret level series good intro alongside Titus miniature? I have no idea, I've never seen it, so. Because I had an idea for basically, because at some point there may be a list that needs to have no Centurions in it. That might be like 11th edition, in which case it won't matter what I think about now. But yeah, Invicta Warsuits are something I want to try and bring back in. Why is your name on the screen? Did you recently subscribe to the channel? Maybe just after Robert and before Ben. Because that's why your name will be up there. Thanks for subscribing. They got 190 points less than 10 Terminators. That is the problem. That is the big problem. Is they are so cheap. And they have fights first with the Judicia. They do a different job. Blade Guard aren't just there as a kind of how are we going to take it. It's also a very, very good heroic threat. And just a very, very strong melee threat. Is the Centurion character stealth? I think I made the internal version stealth, not the external. Like, the Centurion version is not stealth. The jump version is. Going to a tournament soon? I am. I'm going end of November. There's another 2-dayer. Winchester GC. They also take up a lot less space. That is very true. That is the thing. I think I'm underestimating the size of 10 Terminators. But again, funny. What's the stream about? We're talking about Terminators. All about Terminators. Because I'm gonna get a bunch with the Crux Terminatus, so I'm working out what I want to do with them. Play-wise and paint-wise. Any chance to come over the ocean for a Adepticon? When is Adepticon? Probably not. Absolutely not. Because I'm not going to be in this country when that happens, so... I'm not expecting 360 to hold one objective if you had a character that is cheaper under Silent King. True. But also, it's very funny. And it also just kind of makes people... I guess you could do it and basically kind of have it as a funnel. Essentially, it's like, okay, I'm going to put these all over onto this objective. Either you go over and kill them, or you just ignore it and I funnel you into my Centurions. I guess there is a tactic that may work, although it's not really worked for me ever, so probably not. I think people are too smart for that. I ran 10 with Wolfguard Terminator with Ardrak on Tuesday. It's a mental footprint. Why does GW hate giving EC and W to I don't know. I actually don't know. I figured, like, obviously they have the Flawless Blades and the 8-bound. But I figured they would have something similar like Scarab Occult Terminator or like a Death Trail Terminator. I don't know. Terminators are 3 wounds, but you can get them to 4 if you use the shield. That's the thing. Have you done Power Rangers yet? I haven't done Power Rangers yet, no. Also, I'm not that big into Power Rangers. I haven't done much in terms of like Pokemon, so I could do one. What other games exist? At some point I need to do a Banjo-Kazooie. But I don't know what I don't know how I do a Banjo-Kazooie because there's only Banjo and Kazooie. Unless I do like Mumbo, Bottle, Builder or something. It's only 5. I would love more cultists like Cultist Bikers. I guess you just play GC the Cult. But they bring the Dreadnought drop pod, but that'd be fun. Yeah, I am wondering what are people's thoughts about what are people's thoughts about the upcoming reveal? What are people's thoughts? What are people looking for? What are people wanting? Final Fantasy, I'm not a big Final Fantasy person, to be honest. Make your Terminators as Space Marine Chapter Masters. I don't know half the Space Chapter Masters. Damn. Who, Shan? Is it a good idea having 10 Termies with claws and Raven Guard? Yes, because they're cool as hell. Alright, what are people saying? Orcs. Emperor's children, you sisters of silence. Cathay peasants. The stories have been out of stock every time I check for the past month. It's because they're too popular. Are they? Where are they out of stock? Like, because obviously it depends on the location, right? I did go into Games Workshop, the Games Workshop shop in York, and they were sold out in York like a few months ago. Iceland, we know, have none anymore because there was like one. You're gonna get the new Battle for Christmas? I'm not getting any of the Christmas ones. No, none of them really appeal to me. Yeah, I'd love to see Grey Knights, but I think that's their next edition thing. Along with that, I'm hoping Drukhari's next edition as well. Why do you hide behind a cartoon drawing? Because I am riddled with anxiety, I guess. I don't know. I kind of did it just as a way to stuff in the videos, and it kind of became a joke. It's also fun. Also very funny. Alright, see you guys, dragons. I would like to see a Thousand Suns Psychic Dread of some sort. Saw a pack of Centurions at CX the other day, that makes sense. Didn't Drukhari just get a new model range without just the Codex? Ha ha ha, new model range. No, they lost a bunch of models when the Codex came out. But there was a new Codex, and the Codex is cool. They got a character. But I do think that, because they've had a lot of stuff be Finecast, they're probably going to re-release a bunch of that stuff. I really liked Scari's idea of having the Beastmaster be more of a menagerie thing, where you can pick like beasts from anywhere. That'd be really sick. Equinoxto. Equinoxto. Thank you for subscribing over on the old Twitch. If they do Grey Knights, I'll make my second army behind Orcs Grey Knights. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, as soon as... I am worried because Grey Knights are so goddamn cool. But they're just a bit outdated now. They usually do 2 armies per edition. Do they? Well, I guess they've done Imperial Agents, right? Imperial Agents and Emperor's Children. Last time was Votan and World Eaters? And then I wasn't around for any time before that, so I don't know. Hello, first time here. I really like your videos. Have a good day, mate. Oh, thank you very much. Enjoying the videos. End of edition campaign book should we start coming soon? Yeah, true. What do they do in 8th? I actually don't know. Was 8,000 Suns? Something? I actually don't know. The real shows I don't usually watch them, the actual streams. I just look at Warcom the day after. Oh, they had T-Suns and Death Guard. Ah, I thought they had both. I thought they were, one was 7th, one was 8th. You believe the plastic Warhound Titan? Plastic Warhound Titan? Really? I mean, that is the only playable one in 2,000 points, so I guess? Gyarados' first game won at World Champions Warhammer, so Warhammer World Champions. Likely out the running to overtake Enos to get number 1. Ah, that's unfortunate. I mean, he's still like number 2, right? So that's a bit unfortunate. Unless Enos also loses at some point, right? Like, Enos could have an absolute, like, shocker, right? He could suddenly just absolute tank. But there's still hope. I still believe in Scary. What's my favourite Titan? Either the Warhound or the Reaver. I like the Reaver. If they start making plus Titans, they'll have to do a Titans Codex. I imagine they will tie it into another Codex. The Titans Codex wouldn't make any sense, just because there's like 1. And it would be expensive. Seasons were late 7th. I thought so, yeah. How long after you buy a model is it considered a pile of shame? I guess if it fits on the pile. Like, the the model itself isn't the pile of shame. The pile of shame is the conglomeration of other models, right? People actually use the Hamble Bunker. I've never seen anyone use any fortification I've been playing. I do kind of want to give it a go at some point. Part of me does want to do the stupid idea I had of using 6 drop pods and just like slamming them down and just making a giant wall you have to fight through. That would be silly. When it's System G, I guess it was around then, right? A hype train. Junk Bond. 6 months, damn. Moving forward and stuff, the classic with damn that would be mental. It would. I don't know how I put that together.
So what is on the order of the day?
Junkmon, thank you for 6 months. We're talking about Terminators. Just all Terminators all the time. And just general chit-chat, I guess. And showing off this fabulous new background I made. There are ways to advance a charge for Raven Guard. If you are Phobos, yes. The fallback shoot and charge strat also allows Phobos to advance and charge, which includes Strike with his unit, which is very, very good. If you had a new army, what would you want more? Dark Mechanicum, Excites, or something completely original? Rexia, thank you for the chat.
We clearly need Primaris scale Centurion exosuits.
That if they announce that, I'm over the moon, but I don't know. Thank you for the super chat. A Flamer Squad in Drop Pod is very funny. I do think like Infernus Marines in Drop Pods is very cool. I would rather Dark Mechanicum, because I think that would be more interesting. I think Exodites you could kind of do as just reskin. Like people have done reskinned Aldari as Exodites, right? I'd like something completely original, but I don't think there's room to add like a brand new thing out of nowhere. But even Votan had history, right? That's the thing. So I don't know. Dark Mechanicum would be cool. I'd like to see them add more stuff like Tau with the auxiliary stuff. Like branch that out a bit more. I don't know. Don't think we're getting a new faction. I don't think we're getting a new faction either. No, I think next edition we probably will. Maybe Dark Mechanicum. Or what I'd like to see them do, rather than brand new stuff, kind of refresh some of the really old stuff, like obviously Grey Knights, Drukari. Like if they were kind of part of the rotation of new, quote-unquote, new armies, that would be cool. Similar to how in League of Legends you have like the reworks, right? But Roman God works because of their own faction rules. I kind of like the way they are at the moment, just because it works for at the moment. Yeah, you can't advance and charge Terminators in Raven Guard, unfortunately. You'd have to use a different thing. The maximum lictor list. 18 von Riders, 3 lictors, deathly for 3 lictors. That's hilarious.
We need a Primaris Centurion petition.
Hell yeah. Thank you for the super chat. I do think Dark Mechanicum makes the most sense. You could do Dark Mechanicum plus Traitor Guard, like together. This is just like evil version. Or support for fortification if it can't move. I mean, I would rather that my bunkers don't like walk around. If I wanted that, I'd just get a Titan. Dark Mechanicum expansion for CSO makes more sense for full army. Yeah, I think that's the thing. Like, whatever, like, unless they have a like, because obviously you got all the Forge Fiend, all the demon engines and stuff, right? Unless they were going to have a lot of different things. Well, I don't know enough about Dark Mechanicum, to be fair. It just sounds cool. If you were to Centurion another unit into a Centurion, how would you imagine that to work? I don't understand the question, I don't think. I kind of do. Well, don't say anything funny. TV turned off. Can't hear you. That's fine. I never say anything funny. The only way I'm funny is if I painstakingly edit myself be funnier. In like Tetris blocks, is there a wall? That would be quite funny, to be fair. If all factions would get a free terrain, but only to be deployed in your deployment and not to be capable of screening, it would bring nice contrast to Battlefield. That is, yeah, because they have that in Age of Sigmar, right? Like with like the Bad Moon stuff, right? I guess it really depends what it would be, right? Basically, turn another unit into a Centurion. Oh, right, so you'd like have a chunkier version of another model, I guess. I mean, surely, like, a Dreadnought Centurion, where a Dreadnought gets into an even bigger, like, Exo-Dreadnought skeleton. Blade Guard Centurions, Jump Back Centurions, that would be funny. What if they made an armored version of Dreadnought like a Dreadnought? Oh, right, you just said that as I said it. Damn. That's unfortunate. I'm the streamer, so I get to make the history, so I think you just copied what I said, and that's just really silly. I don't know why you do that. Seems a bit pointless. Just copy what the streamer says. Damn. The edition after all that, GW combines mech codexes with knight codexes. Hey, yeah, the knight stuff is weird, right? Agrarian Centurion Dreadnought. Centurion X and Saturnine armor. It should be the other way around, right? Saturnine and Centurion armor. Even wider. Yeah, you need something that goes like all the way down from like Titan. So Titan into Knight, into Dreadnought, into Centurion, into normal dude, into just like a scout, and then he's dead. Why is Scar Centurion that transforms into a large motor? Oh, the ATV is just like a transformer. That'd be funny. Yeah, just combine everything. It's a Psyker Dreadnought, Jump Pack Centurion, Terminator, Eliminator, Reaver, Knight, Captain, Lieutenant. Any tournaments coming up? Yes, I've got the Winchester GT at the end of the month. I'm taking basically this. I think it's exactly the same list I took before. I'm not changing anything. However, I haven't played any games since the last time. Since my last 1 day, so I've already forgot how to play. Plasma Virgin Centurions. That is an interest. I don't know what. Out of all the weapons they get, I'm surprised they don't get plasma. Like, Plasma Centurions just makes a lot of sense, right? They have a Jump Pack Sanguine Dread? Damn. What, Royal Dawn reveal? Have I seen Space King? I'm not watched Space King, no. Should I run Necrons, Imperial Knights, or Orcs at my next tournament? Yes. Run a different one each game. Seriously, I guess Orcs are the funniest, so go with Orcs. Do you think they should bring back rules for generic chapter masters? I like the idea of it. I think I like... So, for example, like Autarchs in Eldari I really like because they're so versatile that they can run with anything. I feel like just doing that would be a way of doing it. I don't know. Calgar, yeah, Calgar in every armor. Yeah, one of the steps when you go from like from Titan all the way down to regular dude, one of the steps goes through just being a Calgar. Would a model die? Would it just take D3 mortal wounds? I guess the model dies, doesn't it? Because isn't the rule only if it's a character? I could be wrong about that. The Centurions is the most Imperial Fist unit, and Imperial Fists are known to love bolters. I mean, that is fair. Like, heavy bolter Centurions are pretty... Just a lot of shots, but not that good. And I'm unlocking Pile of Shame on Discord again. funny move, so I got to pull where it lives. I'll probably unlock it when once I've done a few more from the backlog. Once I do another stream, which might be in a couple of weeks, maybe. I kind of want to take a break from doing them, just because it's kind of like don't want to oversaturate it. Venorexis, thank you for becoming a member. Thank you very much. Very cool, very cool. Yeah, I think it's D3 for your characters. I don't think it is. I think it will kill a model, which is a problem because obviously they're 4 wounds, right? Don't really want that. When's the next hot take stream? I don't know. Again, I kind of do them every so often. I don't know when it is. I start an AOS army. I have some AOS armies. I just need to paint them. To be fair, I did want to play 4th edition because it looked fun, and then never did. I just don't have. It's just time, right? I should get into it more. The AOS is a lot of fun. Get my Gits army up and running. I did want the drop pod to take Centurions. That would have been great if you could take 3 Centurions. It'd be... Of the Arcanist Evaluators game. I don't know what that is. No. I'll be honest. Thoughts on Tyranids? I like Tyranids. I think they are cool. I would probably, if I were to play Tyranids, I'd probably play like a Monster Mash. Although I do like the little Gribblers. I like Hormigans. So maybe I just lied completely. Need to buy the new Iron Hands character. To be fair, the Iron Hands character I had a look at. I had a look at it for this week's video. He's very good. Like, he can, like, redeploys and giving something scout is really strong. Scout, Phobos, Tacticus, Gravis, Terminator, Centurion, Invicta, Warsuits, Dreadnought, Armiger, Questoris, Dominus, Cerastus, Acastus, Warhound, Reaver, Warlord. Yeah. And I guess even below Scout, you just have a dude. Just dude in his underwear. He's a Votan unit. Oh, right. What's he called? What you called him? Or I'll find what you said. Yeah, I can't remember who he was, but yeah. So tell me, the one shot the lion. Damn. I hope you'll build them with Thunderhammers. I'm planning to do 10 with Thunderhammers and 10 with Lightning Claws. Karnok Var. Have I ever looked into Turnip 28? No, it's on my list of... You know, I did a stream a couple of weeks ago now, where I went through Trench Crusade. Turnip 28 is also on there. There's a list of what I need to do. Below Scout, you have Paul. And below Paul, you have Mini Paul. Yeah, below Scout, you have Paul. And then you have VTuber Paul. And then you have the version I use in videos where it's like 1 frame every 5 seconds. So it just keeps going. 18 Centurion, 50 Terminator list. I feel like my... Because I've been trying to look at the Terminator list. It would have to be less Centurions. Which I know is heresy. But you can put Terminators into a Storm Raven. That's something to think about. What shop are you going to put the Terminators? They would be in Screaming Ravens. I don't know what theme, though. Part of me wanted to do... I might have to do it for something else. I want to do the same scheme across all the models, except that they all use different brands of paint. Regular Terminators are better than Assault just because versatility. Yeah, so, like, if you were to, you know, really drill down into it, regular Terminators are better because they've still got the fists and they have the bolters and they're just kind of more cheaper as well. But Assault Terminators are cooler, so that's where I'm going with this. Arcanist Evaluator. I haven't actually seen one. This is the new guy, right? The guy who is doing the thinking hands. I haven't actually looked into what it does. Look. Whilst model is within 3 inches of one or more other friendly leagues of Votan, infantry units he has Lone Up. Fine. Has a deadly demise of 1. That's wild. Once per turn in your shooting phase, one model with this ability can use its when it is decided to shoot. If it does, you must spend 1 yield point, and at the end of the phase, ranged weapons equipped by that model have sustained hits 1. After the model is shot, if 1 or more attacks were destroyed by the attacks, you gain 2. Okay, that's cool. And he has something with 3 versions, either Rapid Fire 1, Rapid Fire 2, or Rapid Fire 3 Hazardous. Overcharge. Each time the barrier makes a hazardous, subtracts 2 from the result. Oh god, okay, so you really can just die real quick. Because you only have 4 wounds. But 6 shots sustained. I guess there's other ways to get stuff on top of that. That is cool. I do like Votann. I think Votann are cool. They're one of the armies I kind of want to play at some point. It seems like they have a lot of cool stuff. Or you should do a Horde army to defeat shit. I absolutely not. Because the problem with doing a Horde army means I had to buy the stuff and then it will just sit on the pile of shame. Thunderhammers and shields are very cool. Increase damage by 2 with an enhanced. Okay, yeah, that's insane. He's got Deadly Demise 1, which is very funny. They get competitive Iron Storm Spear Headless for Terminators? Maybe. The new one is good, I think. Actually, no, because the new one... Here's something I discovered for the video I'm doing tomorrow, right? They're really trying to make First Company Task Force a thing. I don't know why. Playing AOS quite a lot with Blazer Corn, but then their Battle Totem came out and now I have no idea how to play them. Fair. Getting the White Scars Combat Patrol. I think the White Scars Combat Patrol does look pretty good, to be fair. And I do like the hero with the jet, the hopper bike. That is cool. That's cool as hell. But I'm sorry the second wave didn't have something in the Dreadnought niche. That is true. They did get a lot of cool stuff though. I mean the steel jacks I really like. I think they're really cool. Like how many steel jacks can you have? That's something you essentially max. Again, to be the guy who just maxes everything, because you get 2 versions, right? And you can have they're 3 to 6, so they're very much Centurion like. But cheaper overall. I mean, Overwatch is hitting on force for Overwatch with Vulcanite Disintegrators is absolute stick nasty, not gonna lie. Then they get Concussion Gauntlets or Plasma Sword. And they are cool. Yeah, they do look cool. I like them a lot. Would be a great thing to play with the Sentiments Combat Patrol. Makes sense. A huge pile of shame victory last week. I gave my Space Marine friend half of the half of the box because it was sitting there and coming. That's cool. Yeah, that's a good way of getting rid of the pile of shame, is to donate it. Oh, we're making a Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth Army in Trench Crusade that I will be painting like they are from Darkest Dungeons. That sounds cool as well. That sounds really cool. We also didn't get us Votann Centerpiece model when the law already said the Votann Central AI can go into big giant mechs. I'm wondering if they're saving that. I feel like getting 2 waves out first is good, right? So you get 2 waves out to kind of bulk up the choices, and then you give the big boy. Obviously, it's different for something like World Eaters, where that's kind of the main thing, right? My pile is not shameful, it's very loud. Hey, let my hands again. But Trench Crusade was moving away from STLs. I don't know anything about the actual model stuff. I only really looked at the rules. And the rules look cool. To be fair, I did like the way the rules looked. Who is this saucy V? It's your boy. All this bad stuff. They needed the second wave. Their range was a little short before. See what you did there. Someone asked earlier, I've just seen it. What would a reverse Centurion look like? I guess even less armor, right? Or extremely tall and thin, and can kill lots of like horde infantry and melee. Next major releases for Trench Crusade are going to be designed for plastic or 3D printed. Oh, that's cool. I know obviously, like, you know, people like to 3D print, but people are going to be able to 3D print design their own stuff anyway, and I think plastic is probably better for a consumer market. Plastic gets it out of a kind of the 3D printing niche and gets it into something that can be in a shop a lot easier, I think. But do they ask what Paul is bad at? They don't ask what Paul is bad at because he's just bad at stuff and he can just guess. I was about getting out my stump in August. That didn't pan out. That's a shame. But I actually went my way to hobby for the first time in a while. Mother, hell yeah. What did you do? Leggy boy with a minigun. Oh, to be fair, you could do that in melee. It would just be weird. I do want more autocannons. Not enough. A Centurion with an autocannon would be fun. Got into Space Marines. I know you love Centurions. So are they worth getting now? Or should I wait for 11th to see if they get phased out of Primaris models? Real like advice would be, if you like them, get them, because you're going to get enough value from building them, painting them, and playing them if you manage to get it before 11th. And even if they go into Legends, they're still Legends, and Legends are still playable, so it's fine. If you like them, get them. I think it's one of those things where, like, if you get too hung up on all the potential possibilities, you miss out on doing stuff. You know what I mean? Did you draw my edges to try? Oh yeah, I did see that. It was very fun. I did go through and look at all the hot take things. They were very funny. What's your favourites of the online only need to be subbed to Warhammer Online models or anniversary type ones? Oh, I don't remember them. The new Spirit series is pretty cool. I don't actually remember most of them. Moving away from firstborn hammers. I prefer the new ones, but again, I know they're obviously very classic. But I mean, stuff like Sternguard have it, right? Just worked on building the Storm Strike Paladors. Ooh, oh yeah. Wasn't for very long. I didn't force myself. Good to get going again. Excellent. Just had a new to hobby friend asking me if he needs to clean the models before painting it. I guess he means like getting rid of the mold lines and stuff. That's probably more of it. Hey Luton, how's it going? Oh, Luton, you've come in and my YouTube studio crashed. But let me just refresh so I can actually see what's going on. Mr. Glenn, here we go. Alright. Have a question. Do you qualify yourself more as a hardcore competitive aligned person or a narrative hardcore casual? I would be probably closer aligned to hardcore competitive to narrative. I definitely lean more towards competitive than narrative. I kind of prefer playing the game in a kind of as a game. So I'm not obviously, you being Luton, you're very much into the lore. I'm not big into the lore, and I just kind of like the game. Although in saying that, obviously I'm still playing the game trying to be fluffy for my homebrew chapter, if you see what I mean. So, and also when I play, I still do absolutely insane shit. Like against JP, where he failed, Sly Marbo failed to charge into a Phobos lieutenant. So I went, nah. My Phobos lieutenant would be like, no, you try to stab me, I'm gonna go and stab you, and charged back. Failed to do any wounds. Then Sly Marbo killed him and managed to consolidate onto an objective, which made it worse for me. So I definitely look at the game in terms of a game. But that doesn't mean I am also someone who will be. I'm in a chat with some of the people in the local community, and people like Reese who might still be in chat. They are much further along the hardcore line than I am. I'm nowhere near that. But again, I go to tournaments, but I basically only replay at tournaments. And I'm playing the game for fun. I don't necessarily. I guess here's my thing, right? I'm playing the game for fun. I don't find that going for something purely narrative adds much fun value for me. But I also think that going purely pure driven, I must use only the most optimal things, that also does not add fun. So I'm kind of in the middle between those. Like, 18 Centurions is stupid, but it's kind of fluffy for what I want to do, but also it's a fun challenge to try and work out how to actually make it good. That's my level, right? Are you going to be heading to Leicester GT? I won't be Leicester GT. Yeah, I think I'll sit in the middle too, but not fully on the narrative. Yeah. I think that's where most people probably are, to be fair. Obviously, you get your extremes both sides, but I think most people who just want to kind of play the game probably sit somewhere in the middle where... Broom Patrol, thank you for subscribing over on Twitch with Prime, not even with Prime, with your real actual money. Thank you very much. I think most people are probably in the middle somewhere where they enjoy the they enjoy playing the game as a game, but they also like the spectacle of it. I think that's the difference, right? It's the spectacle more than the narrative for me. Like, the actual story as to why we're there is a separate thing to the spectacle of imagining it as an actual battle, and, you know, you know, having this overwhelming cacophony and then Centurions appearing out of nowhere visual is different to a narrative. Got me. You saw a question earlier? I think was that the one about the reverse Centurion? I think I thought about it, and I think I said it was like going to be tall. You may have asked another question, I didn't see it. Yeah, well, yeah, reverse Centurion would basically just be like a tall thin. So happy to make a list for fun for all comers, but when playing, you want to try and use the best of your ability with the goal of winning if you can, but not at the expense you enjoy. Exactly. Right? That's exactly the thing. And I think most people are like that. Even at tournaments, like, most people really just want to make sure the game is fun. Every game I've played, pretty much every game I've played, has been very, very cooperative, because people want to win. The majority of people, this wasn't something I discussed with Scary as well. People want to win because they were either a better player or made a better list, not because they could gotcha someone else more or because the other person didn't know what they were doing. You know, no one wants, you know, if you Room Patrol with a gifted subscription, thank you very much. Thank you. No one wants to be, you know, no one wants to beat someone and be like, when they don't know what the dice do, right? Like when I did Knights with Winters, and his Titan shot one of mine in the face full beam and it shot it off. Exactly. Like my my Tech Marine had tanked two full rounds from a Tyrannofex, like rolled 6s on every single save. That is cinematic and adds to the fluff. Like, my Tech Marine, when I make the character in the supplement, will have a thing about being able to, like, shrug off big attacks, because it kind of came up organically. You know what I mean? But that's a different thing, right? My interpretation that was squad of 3 Primaris Reavers with lightning claws. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, like, basically, yeah, like lightning claw, slender killers. Can we give Guilliman giant lightning claws? Yes. I haven't ever really built my list to win. I just want to do cool stuff and have fun with my units. But this is the thing, right? Like, I built my list. I mean, I built my list to win. But if I was to build a list to win, I would not use 18 Centurions, right? Like, the 9 Centurions with then the Inceptors or whatever is clearly a powerful list. But I'm building my list to win in my way. And I think that's what most people do. Some people will just go, you know, woe 3 Lord Corner Skulls upon ye. And that's also fine, because that's also really cool. There's not so much you can do in terms of, like, trying to make that win. But if that's fun, then it's fun. You know, and if winning and if fun is a win. I think when people say, because people say, you know, competitive players are only there to win, that's not necessarily true. Because winning and not having fun is not worth it. And I think most people want to prove they're good at it, and they want to show that they have mastered something. But they don't want that to be at the expense of enjoyment. Because then it's what we call getting good at something, but not having fun, that's called a job. We ain't here to do a job. We're here to have fun and play a game. And there's going to be a limit. Like, however amazing I am as a player, there's probably going to be a hard ceiling of what I can do with 18 Centurions. But I haven't hit that ceiling yet. And until I do, I'm still having fun. Like when Scraggot the Loon King took off the last few wounds of a Mega Gargant, one of the last rounds of a game. Exactly. Like I had a single Cabalite warrior melee the last wound of a knight to death, and then the knight blew up and killed him. Super cinematic stuff. Like that's the stuff that, you know, obviously for me, I just lost a squad of Cabalites to explosion. But I'm not going to be mad that I'm going to lose because of that. I'm going to be happy because it was hilarious. Every time people need to roll for Deadly Demise, or I need to roll for Deadly Demise, I always want it to be a 6. Every time. Even if the Deadly Demise, like my opponent's Deadly Demise, it's like a tank, and it's only me that's going to be affected, I want the 6. Because it's funny. Take some stuff I know is good, other stuff I know I like, and that's why I took a bunch of analysis contest to my first GC. Exactly, or last GC, yeah. Do I run Old Marine Conga in the tourney or Orc Necron Votamp? Yes. You're assuming people get good at jobs. I mean, I did get better at my job until I improved at my job because I did it more, and then I got more responsibility, and then I got made redundant. So, you know, you get so far. Around 72 warrior list. He also didn't really play the objectives much. But that's the thing, like, you know. You want to achieve victory over an equally skilled or better player in a fair match. Exactly, that's the whole thing, right? If someone, like, I've played against people who I would say are less skilled than me, or less have less experience than me, and I've always tried to help them because I want them because people go to tournaments as well because, you know, most people I played with also want to learn and improve at the game, so I always try and help them. You know, we always have a conversation, and I've had people who are a lot better than me do this exact same thing for me. That is just part of the community, and I think that people who are purely narrative, like people who think purely narratively, who don't care about getting better at the game and just want to play like the cool thing, aren't going to have those conversations. But I don't think that's very few cases. I think even in games which are like pure narrative, there's still things about the game itself, because at the end of the day you're still playing a game. Because if you just wanted to do pure narrative, that's called writing a book, right? You know, I think I mentioned this in the problems with narrative video, where it's essentially, you know, you can set up all the narrative stuff in the world, but at some point you're going to have to sit down and try and, you know, play the game to win, because you have a mission, you have an objective to do, and you're going to try and do it. Obviously, you know, you may do something cinematic, but you're never going to do something because even if you imagine yourself as either the commander or as someone like actually in that battle, you're not going to do anything stupid, you know. The rising tide lifts all boats. Exactly. Helping the community improve indirectly improves you too. Exactly. Having that conversation is great. I'm playing Centurions. Also, what's with the background? It's a new background. It's where my table is now set up. With all the want for explosions. Hey! God forbid a Space Marine have a hobby. Any play I have had with people is that someone I was playing with brought knights to my first game ever while trying to teach me. Yeah. I feel like... Because I had that when I tried to teach a friend of mine. And I took like some Centurions, some fast stuff, and some slow stuff, and was like trying to vary it a little bit. But then I didn't realize because he had Eldari and he had a Wraith Lord, but I didn't realize he hadn't added any of the weapons he could. So I was like, oh, you have nothing that can kill the Centurions. That's a problem. I also didn't tell him because he was a Middle Earth player. I didn't tell him the game only lasts 5 rounds because obviously in Middle Earth it can end at any possible time. Yeah. But I think he's had a good time. I'm bad at teaching. I need to get better at teaching. I feel like if you're teaching a game, you should automatically... You should be setting yourself up to lose. But also, it's a very complicated game. I don't know. Also, you can write all the narrative stuff, but at some point it doesn't happen how it's supposed to. What do you do then? I guess you have to write a bunch of branch narrative. Exactly, right. So you have to write... If you're doing pure narrative, it has to be open-ended. Like, it has to have a way of getting out both ways, which is very different. Me being narrative that experience, the fantasy of the army. Yeah, exactly, right? Like, you know, people talk about having a thematic army, and that makes sense. You know, people like to see Raven Guard do a lot of jump packs and Phobos, and people go, oh, you know, Centurions in Raven Guard doesn't feel right. But also, that's when you just make a custom chapter where it makes a lot of sense to do that. And then it's narrative again. See? Easy. That could be learning experience, one big model versus your army. Yeah, I mean, there's ways that would work, but it also feels a bit weird. Like knights are something that I think of knights the same way you think of in video games the kind of characters that are basically like the Shaco from League of Legends, where if someone knows how to use him, he's going to absolutely just run riot through less experienced players, but later on people know how to deal with him. See, the kill team rules a Necron team, the gun, that if it hits another chance to kill a model. That's thematic. It is, I guess, thematic. Speaking of winning, can you grant me some wisdom? I used to play the tabletop all the time, but now I play maybe 1 or 2 games a year. I get nervous playing against people I don't know. Anytime I build a list, it's 90%. Following this, I don't want to beat people up I don't know, but also don't want to nerf my list because I feel like they'd be too bad too. Good question. I think the thing is, I guess when you're playing with people at the local game store, what is the expectation of that game store? Are you going in there and it's like, we're going to play a game that is going to be very much like on the competitive, you know, default layouts, pure kind of competitive, in which case that's fine to do. And as long as you're in there, like if someone's if someone's a lot worse than you at the game, for example, or your army is just better than them, like talk through them with them. Don't be afraid to be like, hey, we can re-rack and try again and do something else. No. Would you ever do like a community tournament? I don't know actually. But I guess to be fair, probably I don't know how to organize a tournament, so. If you teach out how to lose, you could talk about optimal strategies and what may be best. Let your opponent choose and let the dice decide the winner. I mean, that's the other. It was more, not set up to lose, but definitely set yourself up to kind of. Because there's two parts of learning the game, right? One is just learning the rules, where it doesn't really matter who wins and loses because you're just there to learn how the dice work and how to move. Then there's learning the game in terms of like how to actually like strategize. They're two very different things. That's gonna be a good beginner army if you have the coin. Would you recommend starting with combat patrol or just going straight to 1,000 small points small hammer? How new are you? If you're new in terms of like you don't know how to play the game, start with combat patrol just to kind of learn the rules. That's fine. Like combat patrol doesn't necessarily have to be like balanced as long as you kind of are there, as long as you use it as a rule learning, I would say, but I don't know 100%. It's mostly I've only ever played kill team. Okay, so you know at least somewhat some little bits of stuff. I guess it depends what's out there, right? I mean, combat patrol is fine. It's mostly friendly play to win, but not LVO competitive. Yeah, so even like LVO competitive, most people there are friendly play to win, like I am. So I think you're fine. I teach games a bit about, but I'm usually too detailed. Yeah, that's the. I'm bad at teaching. A knight's kill team, so like one armature. I could do this, but I will do that. Yeah. Like, give them all the options, and obviously, like, especially when it comes to stratagems and stuff, that becomes so difficult when you're first teaching. Like, I basically played the game, I guess, with no stratagems. I was basically just like, we're not going to bother with them because it just adds too much extra thought, and we can introduce that later. I do not play Magic now. I don't play Magic. But I like the idea of combat patrol because it takes away a lot of the stuff. You don't have to worry about stratagems or enhancements. You just get those for default. You don't have to worry about secondaries and that kind of thing. Fine. The first game ever was a former friend of mine who promised she would teach me the game. I literally didn't know how the game worked at all. We did a turbo stomp me for 3 turns. Yeah, that makes no sense, right? Like, you definitely. I think someone was telling me about how basically when they first learned the game, it was against someone who was like really, really good, and they basically just kind of not played the game for them, but basically just told them what to do and like, you know, which makes sense to me. Where you're basically talking them through exactly what to do and like why you do it. If you think about if you've ever learnt to code, you know, or if you know how to code and you're reading someone else's code, the comments are there for that, right? Like, or learning to code, you kind of go very much like straight through like top to bottom, or anything really, any sort of tutorial. Like if I have a tutorial for you know, something I need to do for editing, it's like, okay, first you do this, then you do this, and it kind of explains why you're doing it along the way. One of my games, Calgar ended up in the middle of 3 knights fighting in close combat. That is very funny. I mean, that's one of the things, right? Where that is potentially a thing that would happen in a competitive scenario, but also it's very funny, and that's the cinematic aspect, which is why I like 40k, because there's so much it is cinema. Well, I play Arc Raiders. I've heard good things about it, but I haven't played it yet. Anyone know anything about Arc Raiders? I actually don't really know much. One of my buddies at the LGS just rolls sides whenever I bring it up. My last game I won like 40-74. Yeah, but 40-74 is not that bad, right? I mean, that feels like, you know... I think that's the thing, right? Like the community I have that I play with in Winchester is very, very good. I did feel like, because there was a league I was in, and the first game was against someone who was very new. He like started in March, so like very few games. And unfortunately, his army, he was playing Ultramarines. He had a fairly like standard army. Had some Terminators in there, some Ballistuses, you know, a couple of like he had a Vindicator, a Gulliman. But the problem was that he had such a slow army, and I was just then practicing my new 18th Centurion list, so it was a list I was very, very used to. I basically just caged him in with all the jump packs and then just deleted him off the board with the Centurions. No, still trying to be like helpful and trying to get him to do like, you know, help him in terms of like what options he had. But I think it was that was just a mismatch. And sometimes that just happens, right? My White Guy Shores, thank you for becoming a member. Tutorials without explaining why you're doing something aren't very useful. Exactly, right? Like, that's the thing. Like, there are tutorials out there where it's like, this is what you do. But the problem is, if you don't learn why, you can't apply that to anything else. This is kind of like my current D&D character has this, where she's very good at like observing someone and then learning from them, but doesn't know why. So she's learned how to like, you know, bartend. But she will always pick up a glass and a cloth and just start wiping it, because that's what she sees people do, without realizing they're actually trying to clean a glass that they've just like washed. So she just thinks that's just the default, like essentially the idle animation that all bartenders need to do is just stand there and like always wipe a glass. And she's like, oh, I know how to serve wine, but she doesn't know. She knows how to serve a drink. So someone asks for a wine, and she goes, okay, I'm just going to pour wine into this pint glass. It's like, here you go, you wanted wine. And she doesn't understand that. That's basically what happens if you follow a tutorial without learning why. Like, you'll learn what to do, but not when to apply it, and that's different. Have you played Kill Team before? I played it in 2nd edition, but I haven't played the latest edition. First game I played was in local game store. I got hit by a 20-stacker berserks. Oh no. Boarding action was also. I think boarding action is kind of fun. I'd like to do more boarding action. Sounds like a Kenku. It's a Kenku for action rather than speech, I guess. But I'm not messing up my name. Yeah, my White Guy Shorts is definitely. I can definitely see how people would mess that one up. A border patrol would be cool. As a try. So with Tales before 4K, I had a ton of that. I knew what people did to make Tale work, but couldn't figure out the life of me why I was doing all the things. That's the other thing, right? That's the other thing I've kind of talked about before, where you could play against someone with a like meta list, but if they don't know how it works, and again, this is going back to the tutorial versus the other thing. Like tutorial versus actually learning. Like I can give you a list, but if you don't know how it works, you don't know why they're there, you won't succeed. The Eggman for 14 months, damn, over a year now.
So, when do you think you'll get back to reviewing the completed channel? Smirking face emoji.
Smirking face emoji indeed. I don't know. I'm so far behind now. I think I'm over a year, because the time just moved so quickly. I don't know what I'm going to do about it. I think at some point, I might just have to do like literally just sit there and just go, like, basically go, under this line, I'm not doing them, like, do anything under this line I won't review. Do a massive catch-up and then go, okay, anything over this line I'll start trying to review, but if it gets too far behind again, I don't know. It really became... Because the problem with doing the streams, right, is every time I do a stream, it just added more to the end. Yeah, I need to look into it, to be honest. How do secondary missions work? Music's a bit loud. Is it? Music a bit is as in the member music or just the general music? All right, see you later, man. Thanks for joining. Someone lied to me and tell me Primaris models are coming up. I'm not going to lie to you. Primaris Centurion models are coming to a house near you. General music. All right. I can shoot that down a smidge. An up donation by 500. If I did that, the problem is there's one of the metal pipe ones, which were awful. How do you do second missions works? I only recently got into Warhammer. I see all these games online where people have like a deck of other objectives. I haven't been able to find anything explaining very well. Okay, so the way it works is kind of like the match play chapter approved missions. Essentially, the way it works is you get your you draw a deployment, you draw a primary mission, which is, you know, for example, take and hold 1, hold 2, hold more objectives. And then you have the deck. So that basically every turn you draw 2 cards from that deck. And they have some objectives for you to do, worth victory points. You can try and do them, or at the end you can discard one for a command point. And it's essentially just extra objectives for you to try and complete. To stop it just being a kill as fast as possible game. So there's ones in there that require you to do an action which takes away your ability to shoot, for example. If you go onto like Warhammer, the actual like rules and like the kind of layout of it is in there. Quite lucky my local club had another more experienced admin player, so we decided to do a Forge World power struggle, and so I bought my units list. He was able to give me advice. Yeah, that's the thing, like getting advice from people is really useful. Whether, and again, it's one thing to get the advice and know why to do it. It's another one to then apply it correctly. Because I'm very bad at applying the stuff I do. I'm very stupid. Can't seem to get enough device watch without massive skipping, so bye. Alright, yeah. Had a good time. Why Centurions? Because they're cool. Right. I'm lagging a bit. I'm not dropping any frames. I don't know why I'm lagging so much. Pretty annoying. But this did have to be a slightly shorter stream. Well, I say that my streams can be this short. I do have to head off for now. Especially because someone's just said aggressors are better than Centurions, which has offended me greatly. Hope you had a good time. Is there anyone online that I can send you over to? I know that look. I follow. Like anyone is online at the moment, so I guess we'll just tell you to get out of my sight. I hope you had a good time. Thanks for joining. Tomorrow video about something. There are 36 good reasons you'll want to watch the video tomorrow. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff, and I will see you next time.